We've been lucky so far, getting halfway around the world without any major issues that stopped us going somewhere when we wanted to. Unfortunately, it's happened to us now. So there was a nice weather window to go south down the coast, and we went to leave the marina and the engine wouldn't start. And it looks like we've got a faulty fuel feed pump. So luckily, being in Australia, we managed to get one overnight. It's arrived and now I've got to fit it. Hopefully it will work and we'll be able to get out of here. Trick is not to drop the bits in the bilge. Now that should come out. Aha! Well, they look the same, so hopefully we're onto a winner. I'll fit this one now. Engines aren't my thing. I'm an electronics engineer by trade. I have a bit of a phobia of engines. I am learning, and luckily there's a whole bunch of people in the cruising community who really do know engines, and everybody's so friendly that they rallied round and helped me to diagnose the issue. The proof of the pudding, cross everything.
Woo!
It works!
With a working engine, we set off before dawn the following morning for a long day sail from Bundaberg to Fraser Island at the top of the Great Sandy Straits. We've left the marina and we're sailing again. The engine started perfectly this morning, so fingers crossed that's all okay. We've got nice gentle downwind breeze and we're heading towards Fraser Island.
It is a 60-mile sail to Fraser Island, which is about 12 hours sailing for us, hence the pre-dawn departure. We should have some help from a favourable current increasing as we get closer to Fraser Island though. It's great to be out sailing in beautiful, flat, sheltered water again. Awesome.
You know you're British when it's 30 degrees and you're still enjoying a cup of tea.
At 7.6 knots. Not bad.
That's that helpful current boosting our speed.
Fraser Island is the largest sand island in the world, stretching over 120 kilometres in length. We're getting ashore for our first bushwalk in Australia. We've been told there are so many things that can kill you here. So between here and the beach, killer jellyfish and bull sharks and maybe a crocodile. Oh, look at all the crabs. They'll get us.
Oh, tiny ones. The flat beach here means that it's a very long way to carry the dinghy above the high water mark, even when the tide is only part way out.
Well, we made it ashore without getting killed by a shark, a crocodile or a jellyfish. Now we're getting attacked by the local wildlife. Apparently the main things we have to worry about here are snakes and wild dogs or dingoes. They're protected on the island, the dogs, and they have attacked full-grown adults. So the official advice is to arm yourself with a stick. So we'll see how we go. Domestic dog or dingo? That's the question. There's lots of rustling in the bushes. Looks like something with some lizard type thing with a tail's gone through here. That's where its tail's gone, and you can see its footprints there, either side. Apparently there are some big lizards around here.
I'd love to see one. Well, he was really cool. He was right in our path, but luckily he wasn't in an aggressive mood, so we just backed off and let him past, and then he seemed pretty happy, so we just continued. But that was awesome.
Survived our first encounter with a dangerous Australian wildlife.
Yeah, I'd rather it was a dingo than a crocodile, but
that was cool. Still alive.
Very cool. Very cool.
Maybe he just wants our dingo sticks.
No, he's having a poo.
Right, let's go whilst he's having a poo. Well, we managed to make it back to the boat without getting killed by any of the Australian wildlife. But unfortunately the breeze has picked up from the opposite direction, so it made the anchorage really lumpy and uncomfortable. So we just set sail and we're going to go a bit further down the sandy straits and find somewhere a little bit more sheltered to anchor for the night. It looks amazing further inland, but we just didn't really want to stay there another night because of the state of the anchorage. That's the life on a boat, you're always governed by the weather.
Why have you got your head in the engine bay again, Matt?
Head in engine bay take 2. As we were coming into anchor, turn the engine on, and it goes into gear, but we've got no throttle. So I think the very simple answer is that the throttle cable has snapped. So I'm just going to take this one off. Unfortunately, we don't carry a spare on board.
So that's a throttle cable that you've got?
That's the throttle cable, just disconnected from the engine, and you can see that we've got it in forward ahead, up on deck, and it's just there's not a connection between that and the lever on deck. So I'm assuming that the throttle cable has snapped somewhere inside inside the casing along its length. So we need to rig up something with a bit of string that's going to pull that, and the string needs to lead out onto deck at the helm, and then we can drive around.
Because we're getting revs when you push that lever, aren't we?
Yeah, we can put it in gear. The gear cable works, and we can put revs on by pushing this. So we can either have somebody sat here all the time we need to use the engine, or we can rig up a bit of string to do it. Got the throttle cable out, and it's broken at the lever end, the control end, because that is supposed to be connected, and you can see it's snapped off where it's crimped on. We're just really lucky that this happened now in Australia, where I'm pretty sure I've got the internet and we can just order one and have it delivered to somewhere that we can pick it up. So it'll only be a few days with a sort of bodged repair, whereas if we'd been in the islands we might have had to be like that for months. But
I'm really lucky it happened when it did and we could just anchor under sail.
yeah, we were in a really big wide anchorage here, there's loads of space. Not yesterday morning when we were coming out of the marina, because if it had gone when we'd be gone from reverse into forward, we'd have been in a world of trouble.
Or in a couple of days' time when we're supposed to be going over a bar.
Oh yeah, the bar crossing, that wouldn't be good, would it? Mind you, we could probably sail that.
An approaching thunderstorm did not help the situation, and we were keen to have a solution in place so that we could easily use the engine if we had to during the night. Well, it was a good job that we moved yesterday. That thunderstorm that came through would have been really uncomfortable in the other anchorage. And hopefully Matt's come up with a solution so we can use the engine again.
So this rope now leads down through the pedestal and across the engine bay via 3 pulleys to reach the engine. And so we can now control the engine via this. And I've got a little cleat here so I can cleat it off and get the engine running.
We felt confident enough with the repair to continue down the Great Sandy Straits towards the Wide Bay Bar. This area is a maze of narrow and shallow channels. We've had to time our passage for high tide, otherwise we'd run aground. In fact, we're moving whilst the tide is still rising, so that if we do get it wrong and run aground, the tide will help lift us off. We're about to head out over the Wide Bay Bar. We've been warned by locals about this bar, but it seems that the conditions are good and we've got the right state of the tide.
There's a lot of these bar crossings in Australia where there's a sandbar at the entrance to the river and we've got to get out over it, and that's what causes the rough conditions. And if you get the conditions right, it should be fine. And that's why everybody here, there's a whole load of boats in this little anchorage, and we're pretty much all going to set off at the same time when those conditions are optimum.
We're motoring out because the channel over the bar is straight into the wind, and our mainsail is up to help stop us rolling in the waves.
This is our friends on Trigoning. We first met them in Nui Tibutapu in Tonga in 2017. Since then we have bumped into them in New Zealand, New Caledonia and now here in Australia. It's amazing how often we bump into old cruising friends again and again along the way. So that's great, we're pretty much out over the bar. This is the shallowest bit, but it's actually calmer here. And the channel turns, so we've been able to set the sails and turn the engine off.
There were 12 yachts that crossed the bar all at the same time, in a long line. Once out, everybody was headed south, and as the sun set, we had to keep very good watch to make sure that nobody came too close in the dark.
Next time, we explore the Glasshouse Mountains and have fun on the sand dunes of Moreton Island.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next one.